The Central Asian Report is a program about the ongoing geopolitical trends and the panorama of the present-day realities in Central Asia.
Politics, economics and culture, events, trends and people. All this on one territory. Hello, you're watching the Central Asian Report in today's program. Kazakh 1000, a spark running between Central and South Asia. Turkmenistan at Expo 2016, a palace, not just a pavilion. The Global Night of Museums campaign in Kazakhstan. And coming right up, headlines from Central Asia. The president of Uzbekistan, Islam Karimov, signed a decree on the establishment of an international fruit and vegetables market fair. It will be annual and will be held in Tashkent in October, at the end of the harvest collection season. The aim of the fair is to get the fresh and processed fruit and vegetable products of Uzbekistan's farmers onto new sales markets, as well as to expand the range of exported goods. The first fair will be held in 2016 in July. The conglomerate Turkmen Oil is conducting drilling works on 5 exploration and 10 development wells in the shallow waters of the Caspian Sea. This is being done within the framework of the National Program on Development of Turkmenistan's Oil and Gas Complex. Its main aim, to render automatic, to the greatest extent that it is possible, the process of hydrocarbon extraction and to increase the productivity of currently operating oil pools. I would note that at the moment the reserves of Turkmenistan's Caspian Shelf are evaluated at 12 billion tons of oil and 6.5 trillion cubic meters of natural gas. Saudi Arabia will provide a concession loan to Kyrgyzstan in the amount of $30 million. These funds will be channeled towards the construction of new schools. In particular, by 2019, 16 new schools will be open in all the regions of the country. The loan repayment period is set at 25 years. I would add that at the moment Kyrgyzstan is experiencing a big shortage in educational institutions. There are around 2,000 schools in the country, but in the majority of them, school children are forced to attend in 3 shifts. A spark flew between Central and South Asia. For now, just symbolic. In Tajikistan, the unique energy project Kazakh 1000 was launched. Through the electricity transmission line, it will unite the countries of 2 big regions. Our correspondent in Dushanbe brings us the details of the project and the mutual benefits that await the participant states. Tajikistan is second in the world in terms of renewable and environmentally clean hydropower resources. But here is a paradox. In the wintertime, the country experiences a big shortage in electric energy, and all due to the weak current of the mountain rivers. In the summertime, the situation is reverse. The country is forced to conduct massive sterile spills. During this period, the surplus in electric energy varies from 3 to 7 billion kilowatt hours, and there is no use for it. But during that same period, the neighboring countries, Afghanistan and Pakistan, suffer from a deficit in electric energy and are unable to meet the demands of their citizens. The project Kazakh 1000 is called upon to resolve this problem. Overall, the idea of building Kazakh 1000 appeared due to the sharp power deficit in the countries of South Asia. In the countries of Central Asia, including Tajikistan, during the summer period there is a big surplus of produced electric energy. 60 kilometers away from Dushanbe, the city of Tursunzadeh, a historic moment. The President Emomali Rahmon and Prime Ministers of the participant countries are launching the project. At the forefront, a transmission line which will connect Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, Afghanistan and Pakistan. On the map, it is just a line half a meter in length. In reality, the length of the transmission line is 1,300 kilometers. It is presumed that these transmission lines will transmit around 5 billion kilowatt hours of electric energy from countries of Central Asia, from Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan to the countries of South Asia. This project is not just energy efficient, but also cost efficient. Kazakh 1000 is the first wide-scale interregional project. Its technical specificities were developed by specialists for around 10 years, and the overall budget is evaluated at more than $1 billion. International financial institutions, in addition to the participant countries, took upon themselves the task of paying for the project.
I think this project shows that the four countries have been able to work together to reach agreement on all of the commercial arrangements, and in turn this will provide the basis for other trade in the region to open up, and will establish, I think, the beginning of a Central Asia, South Asia partnership that can actually extend beyond electricity to other areas in trade.
During the first stage, it is planned to build the electric transmission line Kyrgyzstan with a capacity of 500 kilowatts. This transmission line will connect the energy systems of Tajikistan and Kyrgyzstan. Then they will be extended to the city of Peshawar in Pakistan. Along the whole route, it is planned to set up converter substations. The access is not expensive, and clean energy is very important for developing countries to achieve sustainable development. I'm confident that the realization of the Kazakh 1000 project will facilitate sustainable development of the countries of Central and South Asia. Experts are confident that Kazakh 1000 will be able to resolve a whole array of economic, social and environmental problems in all four countries, because the interregional project means creation of thousands of new workplaces, which also means that some countries will see a fall in poverty rates and others an improvement in the quality of life. The Kazakh 1000 project is planned to be commissioned in 3 years. Gold, palace arches and peacocks on a marble platform. Turkmenistan stayed true to itself and used a specific architectural design for its pavilion at the Botanic Exhibition Expo 2016 in Antalya. My colleague from Turkey brings us a report on what visitors encountered inside the pavilion. Flowers and Children, a green world for future generations. This is the theme of Expo 2016 exhibition, which is being held in the Turkish city Antalya. A park with a big lake, museum, tower, a congress center for 9,300 people, 2 amphitheaters, and exhibition pavilions of 56 countries of the world were established on the territory of the Aksu district. Kazakhstan and Turkmenistan are representing the Central Asian region. This is the 4th time that Turkmenistan is participating in such a prestigious global exhibition. By the way, our country was one of the first to agree to participate at the Expo in Antalya. I would note that last year in Milan, Kazakhstan also attracted a lot of interest. The main part of Turkmenistan exposition is exhibited not inside the pavilion, but in the park in front. This landscape was designed in a way so as to represent the botanical map of the country. A separate zone and region is allocated for every plant. Among them there are rare endemic species and widely common plants. In a pavilion which was designed in the style of a modern palace, one can find encyclopedic material about Turkmenistan's unique nature and choose a souvenir. Many visitors are interested in our handcrafted works. They were made out of natural materials and fit very well into the theme of the exhibition. I have to say that Turkmenistan is very interesting for tourists. Many have heard about it and know that it is a Turkic country, but nothing more. That is why we're trying to tell more about it. And every day we get up to 150 visitors. Turkmenistan's pavilion occupies a territory of 635 square meters of the exhibition area. It is presumed that over the 6 months of the Expo exhibition, it will be visited by around 1 million people. Of course, everything is beautiful here, but we're especially interested in Turkic countries. With the use of photographs and expositions at their pavilion, we were able to get a good idea about the people of Turkmenistan and where they live. In addition to everything within the framework of Expo 2016, representatives of Turkmenistan got to know about the new exhibition technologies as well as contemporary methods of presenting visual information. This way, Turkmenistan is already preparing for the next global exhibition, which will be held in 2017 in Astana. It is allowed to be loud and to touch. For one night in Kazakhstan's museums, all the traditional rules of behavior were suspended. Thus, the main exposition halls of the country joined the international campaign Night of Museums. Our correspondent in Astana and Almaty didn't get a wink of sleep and found out why people are attending the museums under the veil of darkness. We bring you a coverage of the museums halls from the two biggest cities of Kazakhstan. At the end of May, 7 museums in Almaty held the international campaign Night of Museums. Aside from free excursions, visitors were offered an opportunity to take part in master classes, listen to lectures, and watch performances. The campaign was organized on the occasion of the International Day of Museums. The first time it was organized in Berlin in 1997. 9 years later, the Night of Museums campaign arrived in Central Asia. The first from this region was the Central State Museum of Kazakhstan in the city of Almaty. There's so much of everything: music, artwork. This is my first time here. That is why everything is interesting. I can't even decide where to look first. A Night of the Museums is truly an interesting project which includes diverse and very different ways of conducting museum events. So aside from classic excursions and exhibitions, during the Night of Museums it is possible to demonstrate everything that the museum has to offer. Aside from the currently running exhibitions, the Central State Museum exhibited unique works from repository collections. For example, bowls from the Middle Ages that were found during excavation works in the city of Talgar and ancient Saraychik. At the Museum of Fine Arts, named after Abulhan Kasteyev, the Night of Museums commenced with lectures, master classes, and a trade fair. By 8 p.m., the exhibition halls were open, and each one had a surprise for its visitors: musical and theatrical performances. According to the organizers, the museum named after Kasteyev, instead of a traditional format of museum events, opted for making the exhibition interactive. Visitors were not just looking at works of art, but had an opportunity to become a part of the exposition. A great number of residents of Almaty with guests, students, families, small children, elderly people. Today we had a very diverse public, and we're very glad that these people expressed such interest in our museum. I like the fact that today there are a lot of artworks and everything's explained, and the dance performances were interesting. Overall, I liked everything. The halls of the Kasteyev Museum were open until 2 o'clock in the morning, and in the very end, the organizers literally lit up the event by organizing a bright fire show for all the visitors. Overall, 15,000 people took part in the Night of Museums campaign in Almaty. The museum halls of Astana also saw a lot of visitors. Even a line formed at the central entrance to Kazakhstan's National Museum. This is the second year in a row when the Night of Museums campaign is organized here. The National Museum started preparing for the International Day of Museums ahead of time. Our colleagues had a presentation at the National Museum in universities, colleges and schools. A pin was designed dedicated to the 25-year anniversary of Kazakhstan's independence with the logo of Kazakhstan's National Museum. Instead of the usual museum silence, there was loud music and lights. This time the artists brightened up the Night of Museums with their performance. But the most interesting for the visitors were the sightseeing tours, which were free on the occasion of the campaign. The expositions on Kazakhstan's ancient history and history of the Middle Ages attracted the greatest interest of visitors. Everyone is interested in the history of Kazakhstan. I think everyone is interested in this. I do not think that we will leave until we see everything. The plans are to walk around for as long as we can, until our child will get sleepy, and then we'll go home. But of course, we would like to stay until the end. This year, the visitors were surprised by a laser display that was projected on the walls of the building. In the laser projection, it was possible to see the most important historical events for Kazakhstan and the countries of the CIS. In 2015, around 23,000 people attended the National Museum during this campaign. This year, this record was surpassed with more than 30,000 guests. You're watching the Central Asian Report. Until next time on Kazakh TV.